This is session 2 of Eberron Out of Time. Who would like to give a recap?
We were tasked by the shepherds of time, particularly Shepherd Hamas or Hermas, different world. Shepherd Hermas, who asked us. He mentioned that there was this trove magical books. So the shepherds of time will kind of leave kind of clues that then get found, and then they'll signal at least as far as our characters understand, they'll signal when there should be discovered. So one of these troves, which wasn't expected, so there was a signal, there was this kind of disturbance that wasn't expected that occurred in the lower kind of areas of Sharn, just right above where the current like the bite is. And we need to investigate it sooner than later because the bite's gonna is gonna keep rising as it does over time, and that area will be inaccessible. So we head in the this particular disturbance was in a temple. This is one of the Church of the Silverfoot temples. So we were tasked by Shepherd Hermas from Morgrave University to find out what was going on there and to return the documents. So we got a bunch of interns who aren't good at fighting, but they can carry books, which has not been very helpful yet. They're definitely not getting their credit for their internship so far. But we have a another shepherd, Alatal, um, who's an elf that's coming with us, and she's can help. She has more of the kind of the background and how to identify what the tomes are and where they are. So we get to the lower levels of the city. Um, there is a bunch of it's a pretty impoverished area. There's in front of this church, the Silver Flame, there are uh, which is it's very run down. There are a bunch of Silver Flame people outside, and there are goblins, and they are arguing. Um, they're arguing, and neither group was really keen to let us pass through. Uh, Once the Silver Flame started arguing with us, the goblins just left and went back inside. There was some back and forth, clashing of worldviews that remained clashed, and nobody advanced in understanding each other. And eventually, they let us go through on the condition that we'd uh, that we'd. Sorry, I'm blanking. They didn't want us to touch anything.
Right, they didn't
They didn't
want you
want us to
taking
steal anything.
looting anything from what they view as their temple.
Yeah. Um, so, but we said we were going to take we came for our tomes, and we're going to take them. Um, so we got in, we talked to the goblins. They were far more agreeable. Um, they let us, there was like a hatch, and they let us down into it after we convinced them that we weren't there to harm them, that the Church of the Silver Flame was not, we weren't part of we weren't in league with them.
Yeah, so one thing you did skip over is both the refugees and the goblins complained about people going missing.
Right.
And the goblins are also there because they want to take treasure out of this temple. So you haven't exactly broached the topic with the goblins that you're there to remove things from the temple. So you don't know how they'll react. But they don't care if you just want to go talk to their boss, which is ostensibly what you were going to do when you came down.
Yeah. Um, and that's where my memory is a little fuzzy. There was rats that came out that were running from something. Um, we got into a fight.
Right. You got into the fight with the rats. One of the rat swarms was sort of frightened off and chased back into the catacombs, so you don't know where that rat swarm went. It, is potentially still here to be encountered again. Uh, you managed to kill off the other three swarms that were running into the room you were in. You then made your way through the catacombs and discovered that the bite has already begun to infiltrate down here, as this is a layer beneath the temple. It's not completely flooded, but it seems like the outskirts of it are filled with the bite.
Hmm.
You managed to, no reason to walk right into the bite, so you didn't do that. You did manage to find a path that was free of the bite that led into a room with a font that was filled with somewhat befouled water, not like magically befouled, just, it's been down here for however many centuries, slowly water dripping from the ceiling into the font. It's not the cleanest water in the world, but
Led by, yeah,
right, there
led by.
was a dead goblin who was sort of partially submerged in the font. When you approached the dead goblin, it began to move and twitch as a gray ooze began to burst out of its body, and you had to fight the gray ooze.
Hmm.
The body of the goblin dissolved as you were mid-fight, but you did manage to kill the ooze, which is now just sort of slowly burning a little hole in the floor, but not attacking anymore.
And it as it exploded out, it instantly knocked Taash'vannon out.
Right. So you're in this room. There's the path you came from. There's the mist in the southern portion of the room. Again, it's not necessarily clear why you would walk into that, but there does seem to be some sort of fixture on the far wall to the south. There's a door leading east and a door leading north.
Is Taash'vannon, is they are they still knocked out or Tash'vannon?
No, Paelius gave him a potion of healing,
Okay,
and so he
Oh,
has
sorry.
seven
I thought I
hits.
was responding. I was apparently muted again.
gotcha.
But yeah, so Taash'vannon is just a little winded right now.
And from the path where you came, you can see that there is a light moving in the distance that's shining down the hall.
Kurt, when you said that there's a fixture to the south uh wall in the bite, does it what does it look like?
It's a little hard to make out through all the mist, but it looks as if it could be like a statue or maybe some sort of ornamental fountain. It's definitely connected to the font via a channel that's filled with water.
Okay.
Who here is the strongest? As in, who is the most hardy?
What do you
I
mean
mean,
by hardy?
I mean, who is most likely to run run afoul of a creature and not die in a single swipe?
That is a strange question. It anyone may die from a single swipe of a claw in the right spot.
Do we need to test something? Where's one of the interns?
Actually, as you say that, one of the interns comes into the room.
Very good. We think these scrolls are down this way. We would
Which
like
way are which way are you pointing?
gesturing towards this path.
This is the path you came from, and it's where the
Oh,
intern is coming in from.
oh, okay. Uh, so you said there was it was to the north.
So there's a door in the north wall. There's a door to the east, or to the west, I mean. And then there's a this whatever it is to the south. But the intern comes up to you. Hello, I am Mage Randus. Not much of a mage yet, but I'm hoping to become one of the shepherds if I can, you know, do a good enough job on this particular mission. I was sent to say that things above are deteriorating. Elatal asked me to come down and find you. Things are getting more tense up there. One of the people who supposedly disappeared, he turned up. He seemed to be sick. Then a creature burst out of his body. It grew very quickly. It was almost like a lizard, red skinned. It attacked us all. A couple of people did die, but it set the silver flame on edge.
That is what happened with a goblin we've seen down here.
Yeah, there are still like chunks of the goblin that blew out when, so there is quite a mess, but just very little left of the main body of the goblin.
Has would Elzen have heard of this type of creature? Is it like known or is this kind
Uh, Based on the description he's given, probably not a red-skinned reptilian creature. If you when you probe him more, he says that it was humanoid and it was significantly larger than the human it burst out of. And as he describes it, you get the sense that it was maybe more amphibian than humanoid.
Um, is this an is this normal? Like, have we, is anybody, would anybody know if this is a typical experience, but based on the exposure to the bite?
So I would say there's not much in the way of sort of typical experiences. A lot of creatures seem to live in the bite, but this is the sort of thing that you might expect to come from the bite. Certainly, creatures that go in get transformed. This just seems to be more gruesome with the creature popping out of the body and growing quickly. But anybody who is trained in Arcana could make a roll.
nope.
No, not me. Um,
And Mbop is asleep,
yeah.
so you're not
Uh,
exactly sure.
we have not we have yet to find the what we came looking for. We should spend a little bit more time, but we will hurry before we return to the surface.
When you say that things are deteriorating, what do you mean?
I mean, there's more Silver Flame people than there were before. More have arrived, and they're getting increasingly nervous. Elatal is concerned that at some point things may come to blows.
Then we will need to get the goblins on our side.
She thinks if we could just find the books and get out of here, we can leave before there's any trouble.
That seems like the best idea. We should just be quick.
Agreed.
So, uh,
North door,
no, the closer one.
west door.
Thank you for opening it. Uh,
Intern,
I, I shall. What is this?
That's just a little divot in the wall.
Okay. All right, seeing this, I'm gonna just peek my head around the corner, see what's down there, if I
You
notice
see that
anything.
there is a light in whatever room is beyond, but from there you can't see anybody.
hmm.
And do we?
And Elzen, you would see there's a series of long, low tables in there on which you see bones. They're not like articulated into skeletons, but there's a lot of bones on the various little tables.
We're looking for documents, right?
Right. Well, yeah, you're not sure. They're probably like, in chests or something.
Does the unseen servant provide sight through it?
No.
If Paelius is here, we could use his little drone thing. Um, but Taash'vannon will just really quickly like go through that room and maybe sniff around and see if there's anything that might be worth investigating quick.
So I would say Taash'vannon, before you even get into the room, you can smell goblins in the room. And you can hear them moving about. When you enter the room, you can see one of the artificer goblins is there's two goblins in there. One of them is one of those artificers who has little bombs strapped to his chest, but he is currently just investigating the tables and the walls. He seems to be looking to see if these tables are hollow and may contain something because they're otherwise they look to be like solid, almost altar-like blocks. He's checking the walls to see if they're like hidden compartments.
Okay. Um, so what was the goblins that we encountered before? Did we get any names from them?
I don't think you got names from them.
Okay. Uh, and then I'm sorry. Just because I'm blanking and there's been so much going on. Um, what else do we know about the documents and where to maybe expect to find them?
So the only thing you were aware of specifically is that they were probably in these catacombs underneath the temple. Where specifically in the catacombs, it doesn't seem as though the shepherds knew exactly. The
Okay.
shepherd, the shepherds were also surprised that the documents would be in this temple at all, because normally things just, when history is changed and documents are preserved, they usually appear in Morgrave itself.
Okay. Well, given that, I think that it's worth checking out. So, uh, Teash Manan, uh, will approach and say, uh, excuse, uh, or wait, what is that? Excuse me. It, you must be very careful. there are things bursting out of people.
What do you mean, bursting out of people?
We just saw another Dar, a goblin, and he burst. You can see his innards still clinging to my fur. He burst open and there was a creature inside, and there are more upstairs.
Who are you? Why are you down here? We have an exclusive claim to the salvage rights of this temple, of this whole level.
We've an agreement with your leaders upstairs. We are searching this place for documents.
Uh, there were some documents in the room to the north. I don't know if those are the ones you wanted.
Eh, do you mind? It seems you are searching things that are solid stone. Uh, are there hidden compartments here?
We haven't found any hidden compartments yet. There are a couple of doors that are blocked by large vault-like structures. So we figure there's probably valuables beyond them, but those doors are very tough. But often people will put the big vault doors up and then hide the actual really valuable stuff in places where they don't think you'll look for it. So we are going around checking all the walls and fixtures to make sure that there's not some hidden chest somewhere that we're missing.
Perhaps we can help each other. It is there are clearly dangers down here. But perhaps we can team up if we find any any artifacts. We can share them, and if you find any documents, then we can you can provide those in
I also
exchange.
have some tasty rat bits that I'm willing to share.
Um, I don't know that I think we're good on rat bits for the moment.
Suit yourself.
You say rat bits.
You're going to have to talk to the boss before we can make any deals to give you documents. I mean, documents could mean anything. Scrolls can be valuable.
Excuse me, pardon, sir. Where can I find? Where can we find your boss?
He's in one of the rooms to the north where we did find some valuables.
Of course. Then we will go speak with him.
Okay. Do you, we do have a lot of walls to search, a lot of rooms in this place. Do you need us to accompany you?
We
Well,
don't want to interrupt you.
that
And
continue your work.
All right.
are, are you sure? That goblin back there just exploded, knocked me out. It might be good to have extra hands.
No, you see all these walls I have to investigate?
Nah, he
They
makes a
don't,
good point. We should go get other goblins.
but that next wall could be the wall. And then somebody will come in behind you and they'll find it. And who's to say
Right.
they're going to share?
We just have to remember that this is where we stopped. I mean, we all work for the Delvers Guild. How many of you are down here?
Right. It's just us.
Is this some trick to get us to leave so that your people can search?
Why do we want to search the walls?
Because there might be treasure behind them.
Well,
Like more rats? I mean, I could probably fill more rat bits in the sack.
there are there
There
are
are
many,
plenty of rats down here, to be clear,
Okay,
but
good. All right. Well, hopefully you don't have a claim to all of them.
there are many there are many Church of the Silver Flame Cretans who are above. They are not associated with us.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're all about looking in the walls.
Yeah.
I
if they
had
came down
heard that
here,
there were Silver Flame people above. I
apparently
assume I assume they don't want us claiming what we're entitled to, but we have a license. I don't know that they can do anything to us.
they were fairly adamant that they had exclusive rights to this place. But uh,
Well, our boss has the actual paperwork to say that we're allowed to clear this level.
Well, they claim that they have the paperwork that revokes your paperwork. So I don't know.
just I'm not saying I'm just saying I'm just providing this to say be careful. They are they are
50.
gathering in mass on the first floor, and we all might be in for some trouble if they decide to come down.
I mean, I guess it was their temple once upon a time, but it's city property now.
Yep.
Well, I guess we will continue here. He sort of protectively blocks the section of wall he was about to check.
Um, any chance that I can smell anything that might indicate, the must of old papers or something?
I mean, you go ahead and make a perception check with advantage. Honestly, the only thing you detect in here is bones.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Um,
and at this point, Randa says to Elzin, since he's next to him, that the man who was upstairs, the man who exploded when he was still alive and sick, he mentioned something about Sora Teresa and being abducted down here. I don't know that we can trust the goblins, not completely.
Does Alzen know who Sora Teresa is?
Uh, are you proficient in history? You can make an intelligence check. I don't think you have to be proficient for this. You would be aware that the former rulers of Drome, hags, included a Sora Teresa. And I don't know what Taash'vannon shared about his own origins.
I would not have shared that particular bit, but would I have overheard the name?
Yeah, you probably would have. He wasn't trying to be quiet.
Okay.
Not that quiet, at least.
Well, that definitely would have perked Tashmanon's ears up.
So you said that Sora Teresa commanded this, or
All I know is that the guy said he had been abducted down here and taken into the catacombs. So who else would have done that but the goblins? And then he muttered something about Sora Teresa, and then he began to scream, and the creature emerged from his body. I don't know what's going on either, so I can't say that the goblins are in league with Sora Teresa, assuming she's still alive.
Um,
we will be careful.
so with an even greater sense of purpose, Tashmanon says, we must hurry. Let's find what we seek.
Let us continue. Let us continue to the north here, where these documents have been so far discovered.
In this hallway, you see there is a statue of an armored figure, a woman. I don't know if anybody's proficient in religion.
Um,
I ain't proficient in shit,
no.
apparently.
So you're not sure who she is. She does have like an emblem of the silver flame on her shield.
Should have
Uh,
studied more.
all right. Let's continue forward.
Right? You see there's a stairwell going up here that leads into what looks like a storeroom. You can see there are several goblins milling about. There's another vault-like door on the far wall, even higher up on another staircase. One goblin is standing by that doorway with a couple of torches around him. In another corner, another one of these artificers seems to be making additional explosives. You can see there are several blast marks on the door itself, though it appears to be largely undamaged.
Um,
And as you enter, this artificer goblin comes marching over. What do you want?
we are seeking documents.
Documents? What kind of documents?
Documents that have knowledge.
That is,
Important knowledge for us.
uh,
Perhaps not for you.
I mean, there's some useless scraps of paper in here that are worthless, so I guess feel free.
Yes,
Elzen
please.
immediately lurches forward.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, and Elzen immediately like starts heading towards them.
We've been throwing all the paperwork in this corner. He points over here.
You have not defecated on it, have you?
What?
It is still untouched.
I mean, we moved it to that corner. It was sort of in piles scattered around, depending on what it was exactly. Uh, I don't know what sort of barbarians you take us for that we would just take a dump on it.
Elzin, that's racist.
The goblins had a great empire, goddammit.
Doesn't mean they don't shit in piles in paper piles. They'd
I
use
I
it for recycling.
I apologize. It was I do not know what came over me. But I'm relieved to hear that you have not relieved yourself on the papers. And he starts kind of he bends down to pick them up and kind of starts flipping through them.
So this is most of what's here. To the extent it was made of paper, it's largely rotted away. Most of what remains appears to be on parchment. As near as you could tell, so it is a mixture of various documents, some of which talk about the church renovations at some point. In fact, probably at several points in time, a lot of which seem to talk about some sort of baptism of fire. And there are lots of lists of names and dates as to when their baptisms of fire occurred, as well as like birth dates and death dates.
This could be useful. So he's going to kind of roll that up and stow it in his
So,
pack.
right, this is actually a lot of paper, like it's like reams of parchment. Some of which originally a lot of this stuff was bound into books, some of which is still partially bound into books, but also a lot of which are now loose sheets of paper.
I mean, how much of the How much of it is
There's,
there's
if you
parchment?
gathered, right, if you gathered all of the still legible stuff together, it's probably about 25 pounds of paperwork.
Intern.
It's
Yes.
all just lists of baptism.
A lot of
I
it is that. A lot of it is birth and death records, baptismal records, things about the operating costs of the church, things about the renovation and the renovation costs of the church. So Randus, the intern, comes over and begins to gather this stuff up. Luckily, Randus appears to be, relatively strong for a mage, and he can, always lean on his staff. But he does have a backpack that he begins to put these things in. He looks at you and says, "I'm not sure this is what we came for, but if you want to take it,
It is it. I mean, what is this baptism of fire?
I mean, I assume it's a silver flame thing, but I don't know.
Well,
There is a big the priest that they brought with them did start up like a big silver flame in one of the rooms upstairs. It's like 10 feet high.
well, we if anything we can use this as a an offering if we should come at odds with the people, the Silver Flame, saying we found their baptism records and they can have them.
All right. I'll uh I'll stow it in my stuff then.
Thank you.
The artificer goes back to making his bombs.
It seems you are having trouble with this door.
Yeah, there are two vault doors that we haven't been able to open. One you must have passed to get down here, and then there's this one. We'll blow it eventually, even if we don't want to blow it in one giant explosion for fear that we'll either damage what's behind it or bring the ceiling down on our heads, but a lot of little explosions will eventually loosen the door.
Um, if only Peleus was here. Does it look like there's any kind of mechanism to open the door?
There is a wheel. It's not exactly clear, like a wheel to undo the latch on the door. It's unclear what the locking mechanism is, unless you're proficient with thieves' tools, and then you can make a check.
I am not proficient with these tools.
Right. It
Yeah.
will be hard for Taosh to use thieves' tools in his mouth.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. And Tash just in his mind thinks, fuck doors.
So
Uh,
the artificer comes over and sets charges on the door. You may want to back up.
there's another door to the left.
Yes, there's another door to the left that leads out. You're not sure where that one goes. They don't seem to be paying much attention to that one.
Okay.
And there is an explosion that rings through all of the halls of the catacombs. And the artificer comes back over and tries the door, but it doesn't budge. Nonetheless, he proclaims success. He thinks he feels a slight movement that was not there before.
Um, have you encountered any other papers, any other records,
Uh,
documents?
anything we found that was on paper that didn't look valuable, we just threw there in the corner. I don't know if the boss found anything that was valuable, but I mean, it wasn't like a lot. Maybe he found like a scroll or something.
What goes beyond the older door? And he and Tayash motions his snout to the door to the left.
It was originally a crypt, probably for the high priests of this temple. That's where the boss is now.
Might we might we go there?
I mean, if you want to talk to the boss,
Yes, I think that would be good.
now feel free. Oh yeah, right, Warg. I forgot. And he opens the door. Or he would if I could click on the door.
Thank you.
Entering into the hall, you see that it turns pretty abruptly. You can see there is a pretty high, ornately decorated altar in a room. You can see the goblin boss that you saw before, and at least two of the goblins who accompanied him previously.
Uh, hello.
And he steps
Uh,
forward, blocking your entering this room. Can I ask what it is that you want?
yes, we are seeking your leader.
I'm the boss.
Ah, you
Ah,
are
you
uh
look like a boss.
He is, moderately armored as compared to the other goblins who are all pretty lightly armored.
Seacha, which is goblin for it's an honor to meet you.
Well, I
Um,
thank you. We don't run into many wargs.
there are
But,
very few of us left.
but what are you doing here exactly?
We are seeking documents.
What kind of documents? He says somewhat skeptically.
To be sure, or to be honest, we are not really sure, but there are supposed to be important documents that we need to find that are here somewhere.
All of the documents we found are in the room you just came from, except for a couple of scrolls that I can't let you have because they have a good resale value.
When you say scrolls, uh, what what kind of magic is on these scrolls?
Two of them are spell scrolls, although we haven't identified what the spells are. One of them is a protection scroll.
Uh, Taash'vannon looks to um, Elzen, Lee, and Intern uh, to like kind of quizzically to see if that might be something we need.
I mean, those to Elzen, those sound not necessarily mundane, but like not particularly special, right?
Sorry, 1 second. Lisa's in the waiting room.
Oh, I didn't see.
She just got there.
Like, do those sound like they would be rare.
Right. Randish chimes in and says, that doesn't sound like the sort of thing we'd be looking for. I mean, I guess you can expect there'd be some potential to find spell scrolls or protective scrolls in a church, but I think we're mostly looking for historical information.
That is sounds just about right. And you keep, those are not the scrolls we are looking for. We are looking for sure. We're looking for historical tomes. We did read through some of the documents that were in the corner of the room. Very interesting, but we don't.
I'm not exactly sure where. There's only two rooms that we found so far that are locked off to us, and they're both locked behind large vault-like doors that we haven't been able to get through yet.
Did you explore the Eastern Passage?
As far as we could, a lot of it's filled with the bite, so I don't know. You could dash in and hope that nothing in the bite gets you, but I didn't. We didn't do a full search of the bite.
It sounds like some of the Z doors that that you've been trying to open are quite resilient.
Yeah, they definitely built them to keep people like us out.
Any any ideas on the mechanisms used to open them?
We're not exactly sure. It may have been that there was some sort of incantation or password that would let them open up. It may be that there's some hidden locking mechanism that we just never found. But at this point, if there was a hidden locking mechanism, we probably blew the crap out of it.
Hmm.
We'll just keep chipping away at them until eventually we make our way through. Unless you have a way through. Or maybe the Silver Flame people know if there was some sort of incantation. I hadn't considered that.
They seem very uh concerned about your presence here.
Well, I'm frankly not sure if it's them or you that's causing people to disappear.
Is
That is not us. In fact, you should be careful if you encounter anyone that seems ill. They have been exploding, and creatures have been appearing from within.
Creatures. I mean, sometimes the artificers do explode, but not with creatures coming out of them.
It, it is disturbing. The gore on my fur is the work of one.
What sort of creatures?
Apparently, some kind of ooze creature, at least the one that we saw. And upstairs, there was some kind of red humanoid creature.
Huh. Well, I haven't seen that myself, but it's guess it's good to be on guard. I
Um,
mean, for the information, if we find your documents and unless they're like valuable or magical, we'd be happy to give them to you. We don't need historical documents, but it's probably going to be a while before we can breach the vault doors.
we do not have a lot. I will see what I can do to help speed this process along.
All right, if you can, we'd like to get out of here too. There are other buildings on this level we need to search. This is just the most promising location.
Taash'vannon turns around. Mbop, do you have any way to open doors that are sealed? Any skill in lockpicking or in any means to magically open something?
It seems we have run across our greatest enemy, the door.
Doors.
Um, I don't know if you heard me, Lisa, but I said Mbop.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I was addressing you. It's difficult to say Mbop with that voice.
Yet another handicap of the warg.
Mm.
M's are hard for dogs.
No, also, my audio is kind of grainy. So,
Gotcha.
but what was your question, Tosh?
Do you have any skill in picking locks or magically opening doors?
Oh, a special skill. Back in my day, I might have, but I think that skill has surpassed me.
Back in your day. Is today not your day?
Back in my prime, when I was a young duck like you,
Doc,
I could do all sorts of things. Wait, I am checking my sheet just to make sure.
Taash'vannon is doing one of those head tilts, wondering very
Their little ear.
yeah, wondering very strongly why you would refer to her as a duck.
A young pup.
And you hear another explosion from the room you just came from as the goblin artificer again tries to blow the door.
Well, I can at least try, and if there is a lock picking, or if there is some other way to get a less forceful way, we could.
Have we tried knocking?
Uh, Taash'vannon looks to the boss goblin.
No, I doubt we've tried knocking. We've tried blowing it up. That's like knocking.
A bit less
What do
polite, but
uh,
We should try knocking. It is so simple.
can I try a knock?
You could try to knock.
Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, so it's in the room back here. When you go, you'd seen it previously when you walked through this, what was once a storeroom. There's this large vault door with a wheel on it that appears to also have several blast marks from where they're constantly loosening the door with small explosions. When you go back and knock on it, you, however, don't hear anything.
Okay. Knocking doesn't work. I don't know if anyone's on the other side.
Well, let me see if I can speed this process along. It seems we do not have a fancier way. Uh, Stay back, please. I will try my hand. So, Elzen kind of like stands in front of the door, or like kind of at the base of the stairs here,
Mm-hmm.
and like holds out his hands, kind of getting ready, like in a Western style. And then he quickly darts down to the ground and places his palm on it and throws his hand up, and uh, a pillar of earth comes from the ground. That's about 5 feet high, so a little taller than him. And he's going to throw it at the door.
Okay, so this cube slash pillar of rock goes shooting up the stairs and into the door. What's the damage on this thing?
So a 1d8. But the door has to make a dex save.
Right, the door is going to fail its dex save.
Well, with that attitude, yeah.
So
This
roll
is
your
a
damage.
sweet cantrip.
So you definitely hit the door, and the artificer goblin goes over and looks back at you and smiles and says, I think you've loosened it a little bit more, but it's still largely imperceptible how loose it is. Maybe it's moving like a couple of millimeters at this point, but the artificer assures you that it wasn't budging at all when he first got here.
I'm stealing this cantrip and adding it to my game. This is a great cantrip.
Earthbendery.
Yes.
So did you say there was like a wheel, like a
There
large
is
wheel to
there is a
open the
wheel.
door?
A 5 foot cube of rock just banged into it though, so it's probably damaged at this point.
Does it still, if I go up there, does it still turn?
It turns a little bit.
Okay. So
It's
it's not,
basically like the wheel on a vault door, but the
right.
door is actually locked.
I don't suppose anyone brought a crowbar.
I mean, we have crowbars.
I mean, if the door is moving ever so slightly, if you try jamming a crowbar and try to pry, pry it open.
Well, yes, but we're goblins. Like we're not big muscle men. Maybe one of you. And he looks at Cleek Cleep. He
Elson
definitely
minus
doesn't look at Elzen.
his
Uh,
minus two modifier strength.
right. And then he turns around and realizes, Randus and Cleek Cleep are probably the strongest physically of the two of you who can grab crowbars.
I'm sorry, who's Cleep Cleep?
Lee Arakakra.
Oh,
Well, Orandus, what are you waiting for?
He sighs.
This is why we bring interns.
I mean, what is Cleek Cleep's strength?
Well,
Oh, Randus may be stronger than you then.
um,
Yes, he is stronger than you. He is going to use the crowbar to try to pry this door open.
all right. Can I assist him and give him?
Yeah, the crowbar already gives him advantage.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't look necessarily happy about being the intern right now, but
All right. Got to start somewhere.
and you hear there is a definite sound of metal grinding and a pop. The door doesn't quite open, but the door is loose now.
Randus, you are doing great. I'm gonna summon, or Elzen's gonna summon his unseen servant. Um, and use it to give Randus a invisible back rub.
Randus appreciates it, though. With a strength of 2, it's a very light back rub.
It's like a baby slapping him on
He thinks like Elzen thinks that he's really like giving it all he's got, but it's just nothing.
Right. Randus tries again, inserting the crowbar back into the door, but he can't get enough purchase to get it to move anymore. But it's now sliding by several inches to either side. And the artificer excitedly gathers up many bombs and slides beside Randus and starts planting charges on the door. Randus runs. The artificer comes over here, produces a tiny flame in his hands, and hurls it at the bombs on the door. And you hear the door creak open. Yes! The goblin goes running in.
Taash'vannon will follow.
In this little room, you see there is a dais of a sort that rises up about 3 feet. On it, there is a sarcophagus. Huh. Well, not chests, but he may have jewelry. He goes back and fetches the crowbar. Can any of you help me, like, move the top of this thing?
Taash'vannon will get on her haunches and try to push with her forepaws.
And he yells in Goblin for the other goblins to come closer. You never know what's in these things. Let's see. His first attempt, it doesn't budge. He is able to start to shift the lid of this sarcophagus, and you hear from inside a wail as you see a spirit comes rising out of the crack that's been made in the top of the sarcophagus. Everyone roll initiative.
Right. Oh, there you go.
I rolled twice because I have disadvantage, so it's really a 6. Huh. Oh,
Where do
here,
I go for initiative?
here. We'll move you
Uh,
into the room because I assume you were in the room because you had knocked on the door.
Right.
I
Uh, on your character sheet near the top, there should be an initiative. It should say initiative, and that's what you click on.
Yeah, it's not very obvious.
Gotcha. Hold
It's on the core. It's on the core page.
And have your
on.
token.
Okay.
token selected before you click initiative. Otherwise, it doesn't bind it to the turn order.
Yeah, I was looking for my token. I'm not seeing anything on the screen.
Uh,
As you have vision, maybe are you in the right spot on the screen?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, I first thought like, oh, maybe it's because I don't have dark vision, but
Right. There is a lot
oh wait,
of
there we go.
torch work in this
There we
room.
go. Okay, I see it now. So I click my token and then what do I do?
Uh, After your token selected, you just click the initiative
well,
button on the
do you
characters.
have the initiative button on the bottom of your screen,
Oh, I
Lisa?
see. I have it on the bottom and it looks like I have it on the top too.
Yeah. So click on your token and then click on the initiative on the bottom. That's the easier way to do it.
Okay. Well, I already did it, so
Oh, okay.
do you see it?
Yeah, you rolled
Yes.
a 16.
Okay. Okay.
So the goblin who is right next to the thing, uh, doesn't really have, he mostly throws bombs. So he is going to use his produce flame at disadvantage and hurl a little fire at this thing. Didn't roll damage for some reason. So you see the fire largely seems to pass through this spectral entity, and the artificer is going to try to back away. And it can't take an attack of opportunity because it hasn't gone yet. So Elzen's turn.
Elzen is Elzen is going to hmm. Elzen's going to take a step back over this way and hit it with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a hit. So your real damage should be 14. Now you can roll to confirm.
Yes. We are going to do that.
That confirms.
And I'll roll the D100. Oh,
Wow.
nice.
So yeah, at the end of the target's turn, if it doesn't receive some sort of magical healing, which it won't, we're going to say it dissipates.
Okay. Um, and it uh and it cannot take reactions
Okay.
until the start of their next turn.
Okay.
Then
Mbop.
yeah.
Okay. Can I use command?
You can.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to use command.
What are you commanding him to do?
And I am commanding it to get smaller, shrink down.
So it fails,
Oh,
and it curls up into a ball in its sarcophagus.
oh, it fails. I thought you meant
Yeah,
I
if
failed.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
yay.
it failed. So it's it's curled up in fetal position, still being racked by this force energy fired by Elzen. And it's not going to get to take its turn, but technically, Cleek Cleep's turn. This
Did
thing
the
is not
lid
looking. It's not looking good for
did
the
the lid get
specter.
knocked off?
The it's partially opened, so you can see it if you wanted to attack it. It is essentially prone at this moment.
Well, I will attempt to. I'm going to attempt to hit it with. I don't want to hit it with. I don't want to try to claw it, but I'm going to try to smush it with my shield and see if that does it.
Okay, so inside this, there is a body in there, sort of a skeletal, semi-mummified body. You could still see the specter though, curled into a ball, half submerged inside the body. But you could
Okay.
take a shot with your shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just hits.
Okay.
Uh, so it is because it's incorporeal, somewhat resistant to this damage, but you do some damage to it. And then
Like,
you can see it begins to just dissipate, seeming to flow back into the corpse from which it emerged. Functionally speaking, it's dead, though there is a chance it could come back later because it's technically sort of unconscious. Inside the sarcophagus, you now see there was the body is of a once richly appointed priest. You don't see anything that looks like documents, but there are valuables on the body. There's clearly jewelry.
Right, but there could be documents underneath the corpse.
Possibly anything's possible. He could have stuffed documents into his underpants.
Yeah. Gonna have
Well,
have to
maybe he
check
didn't
every
stuff them,
crevice.
but maybe they appeared there, right? Um,
I
so
mean,
Taash'vannon is going to help to continue to push the sarcophagus lid off.
So the lid shatters on the floor, at least cracks in two as it hits the floor on the far side. And this
how
the
tall is
artificer
the? Yeah, how tall is he? The
is who?
Goblin Artificer.
He's about 3.5 feet tall for a goblin,
Okay.
but he is like
So
full on. He is full on in the sarcophagus now, plucking jewelry off of the corpse.
Taash'vannon would also get in and just start using her muzzle to like try and lift up underneath the corpse and see if it reveals any papers. Maybe tear up
Uh,
some of the lining underneath it as well.
right. So you're not finding any papers in there, at least not hidden under the corpse.
I imagine it kind of looks like a dog tearing out a couch.
It is a shame.
You have to fight the urge. Like there's that little pillow. You have to fight the urge to take that in your mouth and just start shaking.
Yeah.
Well, it is there are no documents here, but it was worth trying.
Well, let's go try to find the documents elsewhere.
Yeah. And like if the goblins didn't believe us now that we weren't interested in stuff, I think hope that that buys some credit with them that we're not here to take anything of theirs. So it is perhaps in perhaps that one fellow we ran into who was blowing up walls had the right idea of it.
Well, I was thinking, the these doors are quite resilient, even with those explosions. And it could be that the locking mechanisms are within the bite. We did see a fixture of sorts.
That is possible, but without a way to survive or to drive it away.
So the bite isn't necessarily like instant death. It's just that you might get attacked if there are things waiting in the bite.
Right.
And
I
if you're in there if you're in there long enough, you're definitely going to get attacked by something.
I was Taash'vannon was actually gonna look at Elzen and say, "You haven't been in the bite, have you?"
I have done my best to avoid it up until now.
Unfortunately, there are sometimes circumstances in my work that requires me to briefly go in. It is unpleasant, but not immediately fatal. It's just that there's so much unknown, and it is hard to see.
Well, given that I am and I'm not at my full health as he's kind of limping because he's got less than half health. I would not be in, I am not in a state where I would feel comfortable with trying pushing my luck and the bike, even if it is for a brief moment. There are those rats still out there.
I will go. I am the quickest on my feet. I will bounce around until I find what they need. And if you hear me howl, you will know I have found something hostile.
And I suppose we will pull you out, or you'll make your way, do your best to come out or to retreat.
Uh, Well, do does are 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 you suggesting you put me on a leash?
No, I am simply saying if you run into if you run into a hostile creature, you will try to come out, correct? You will try to retreat.
Yes, yes. I thought you were suggesting to pull me out by a rope.
I do not I do not believe that I could pull you out even if I wanted to.
Uh, that was also my thought.
Um,
Well,
I don't have anything to give you.
I am going to I'm going to use one of my potions to heal me up to full, or hopefully heal me up to full. Yeah, heals me up to full. All right. See you on the other side. And then Taash'vannon will bound into the bite to see if there's anything that might have been missed by the goblins.
So you could move into the bite. You can more and more now make out that there is a fountain. There does seem to be a statue at the top of what was once a fountain. The hands of the statue, though, appear to be facing the wrong way.
Uh, can Taash'vannon try to manipulate those hands uh with her mouth and like kind of try to knock it with her paws?
Yes, you can try. Give me an acrobatics check or a dex check, really, but
All right. This is at disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
you are able to fix one of the hands. But you also begin to see things moving around you in the mist. As you fix the hand, you hear there is a definite click when the hand is in the right position. But
All right.
everyone can roll me initiative as you begin to see little forms crawling along the ground.
I are you gonna clear?
Yeah, that's true. I forgot.
All right. My initiative is a 12.
And I don't see Mbop in the list. There we go. So these little ooze creatures begin to swarm around Teosh. Uh, yep, they can all make it over. You can see what looks like skulls in the midst of these oozes as they look up at you from the ground. And they start to lash out at you with little pseudopods.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not rolling damage. we go. Oh, I'll roll that again. So 8 damage from the first one.
Jesus,
Actually,
I'm dead. I'm not dead yet, but based on that, I'm definitely about to die. Yeah, I'm dead.
so you're unconscious. And they will begin to sort of move to the edge of the mist.
Are they not going to try and finish me off?
Nope, not just yet. One of them,
All right.
however, is going to move onto your body.
Intern.
They can't do that. So that's all they can do this round. The intern, he moved over here and pulled out a light crossbow. So he's gonna fire at one. He's not confident enough to fire at the one that's on Taosh. He wouldn't want to be the one to actually kill Taosh. Maybe it's Mercy. So he'll fire at the one that's in front of Elzin, but he misses. Mbop.
Okay. I want to use sleep.
Okay.
Well, can I use sleep without it affecting anyone else?
Um, you could get it. So Taosh is already unconscious. You could get it so that it hits only Taosh and the other ones,
Okay.
but Taosh would use up like 0 of your pool of hit points that you can affect.
Okay. Cool. Let's use that then. What do you need me to do?
Can you click on the spell? I think you
Oh,
roll
yes.
5d8, but good to confirm that. Yeah, so roll 5d8s.
Okay.
So if you go to the left, there's a
There's a
dice
dice
icon.
and then 5d8s. Hold on.
28.
Wow, that is a great roll.
Uh, so you put 4 of them to sleep.
All right, cool.
Teosh, make me that save. That's a success. Cleep, cleep. One of the oozes appears to still be moving. This guy.
I'll move up to him and attack. Let's see. Talon attack,
That's a hit.
three piercing. And then hit him with my shield. 13, 6 bludgeoning.
And you smash the little skull in the ooze, and it's dead. Anything else you're doing?
I think that's the extent of what I can do.
Elzin.
Well, Elzin's going to turn back over to the intern. Say, we need to get Taash'vannon out of this. Come,
Uh,
help.
oh, I was going to say, I agree.
I cannot drag him out myself.
All right. So that's true. He can't go
Yeah.
yet. He's ready to
Tash
go.
Yeah, just getting him
Taash'vannon
ready
is
for this.
410 pounds. So
Good thing he's got a crowbar. Might be able to roll him out of the mist.
So
But what
they,
Elzin's gonna do for his turn is he's going to spend a spell slot. And uh he he bends over and kind of moves some of the earth away and finds a little pocket of berries as he casts good berry. So now he's got 10 berries, and he's going to eat one.
okay.
Um, and he's going to run into the mist and put one in Taash'vannon's mouth and then run out.
Okay.
does that give me a hit point?
Let's give you
Uh, yes, we'll say that gives you a hit point and another level of exhaustion.
Okay.
It would be sort of cruel of me to be like, all right, there's a berry in your mouth, but you're unconscious.
he
Um,
pockets the rest.
all right.
So Randus, having been told what to do, does run in and begin to try to pull on Taash'vannon, then realizes he's awake again. So he's just going to back up and pick up his like crossbow. Mbop, are you doing anything?
She's probably checking on Maddox.
Okay. So Taash'vannon. You
Uh,
still do have a little ooze that seems to have crawled onto your body.
yeah. I'm going to try and is it heavy?
No, not especially heavy.
All right.
It weighs a couple of pounds.
Well, I'm gonna shake it off of me, not knowing that it's asleep. Uh, so I don't know if that'll wake it up, but I'm gonna then use my action to continue what I set out to do and try to turn the other hand.
I am going to give this thing a chance to see if it wakes up when you shake it off.
Okay.
Uh, it's basically a perception check, I guess. So greater than, we'll say, 12, and it wakes up. So no, it doesn't wake up. It just slides
Okay.
off. A little sleepy skull in a green ooze on the ground.
All right. Do you need another acrobatics check?
Yes, I do. You're also able to twist this one into place, and you hear another click.
Okay.
And you then hear a faint grinding sound.
And now moving very sluggishly because my speed is halved. I can get there.
And you hear
Taash'vannon is visibly shaking as she crawls out of the bite.
you hear the goblin artificer in this hallway exclaim, "I knew it! I managed to unlock it. I found a door." And it's Cleep Cleep's turn.
So these things are asleep.
Yes.
I'm gonna attack it then.
So that could wake it up.
Right, in the hope that I will kill it.
Right.
Well, isn't it an automatic crit?
Yes, it is an automatic crit.
So, so
So pretty good chance you'll kill it. That's true. Actually, I forgot. I forgot my own rule. Yes, you will kill it, assuming you hit it at all, you will kill it. So it's dead.
okay.
Gonna move and use your shield.
Yes, I will move and crush this other one.
So it also dies. So you're able to pretty handily mop these things up. Though, roll me a d12. Okay, you're fine. Nothing more appears in the mist to come after you as you kill the rest of them.
Very good. Good work, everyone.
And you hear a cry of dismay from the goblin artificer. And you see he emerges from what was a secret door that was in this hallway.
What it is? Does he look hurt or?
No,
Is it not to your liking?
yeah, it's filled with the bite. It does look like there's additional chambers beyond the one below, but the whole room looks like it's filled with the bite. I'm gonna need more men. Even then, I don't know if it's worth it.
Ah,
So he and his companions start moving north to report on the fact that they found a secret door successfully and unlocked it themselves without any help from anyone else.
Taash'vannon is shaking so hard she doesn't really.
So what do you want to do?
Elzen eats 3 more good berries. Dash, I have I have some nourishment. Would you care for it? It will make you feel a little better.
Uh, yeah. Yes. Uh,
And he hands you 5 good berries.
all right. Cool.
Well,
And Randus says, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the documents we're looking for are in the dangerous room filled with bite.
It seems likely. Let us take a look and see at least uh, what is in store for us.
It is our Mahout and Acha to, to face this danger and go in. So that is what we must do.
So you see there's a large rough-hewn cavern. It appears as though at one point there was some sort of roof collapse as there's a lot of boulders lying around the room. You do see in the far corner to the west, there does seem to be a path leading out of the mist and into a different section. There also appears to be a little gap in the mist in the southern part of the room.
Oh, that's definitely farther than. Well, I guess he could dash. He could dash and run to get through it.
How high is the ceiling? Did you say it collapsed or something?
So the ceiling at one point clearly collapsed into the room as there are several boulders laying on the ground. The ceiling in here, you had to come down the stairs to get in here. The
Oh
ceiling
yeah,
in
yeah.
here, the ceiling in here is about 25 feet above you. It's a little bit uneven though. In some places it's 20, in some places it's 15.
Does the bite go all the way to the ceiling?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
But as with just like Elzen can move and dash and maybe make it to like this pocket, your movement is fast enough that if you flew, you could definitely make it like here.
I think we should try it. I can cover you, Lee. I've seen you fly and take to the skies. It's
Really quickly, Lisa, we got rid of the rest of those things. Um,
Nice.
Largely thanks to your sleep spell, making it very easy to kill them. Uh, and then Taash'vannon, you did the thing with the other hand and opened the secret door that's now also filled with the bite.
Oh, nice. So are we to the left?
yeah, we are right here. Let's see.
I see one of you guys. Yeah, I see you guys. Awesome.
So I can cover you, Lee, if you can make it across and see where this passage goes. If you can make it.
So straight across, it doesn't look like the bite. It looks like the spot where the bite isn't. Correct. Yeah.
Right. So over here, it appears as
Okay,
though
okay,
there's a gap.
okay. I will fly to that point then. I should. That's about 45,
Right.
so I should be able to get there.
And as you fly through the bite, you do begin to see little creatures moving through the gas,
Okay.
but they can't get to
They
you
don't have
because you're
sentinel.
moving. Right. They're not directly in your path, in fact, but uh, they are not able to react before you get out of the mist. And if there's one thing you're aware of is there are some very powerful creatures that can leave the mist, but not very many. But you could see what looked like little red worms crawling along the ground, disappearing into the dirt and rubble, and popping back up again.
Watch out for the worms. They're not the kind you eat.
I will do my best to avoid them. And then Alzen realizes that that also implies that he eats worms. And is now thinking about is now just like kind of has that he's kind of stuck on that. It's just picturing Lee just like foraging for worms and eating them.
Do what you got to do to survive. So is Elzin going to try to dash across?
He's gonna hold his breath and dash. I think he should be able to make it because it's like
If you move and dash, then you'll be able to move 50 feet, so
yeah,
you can make
exactly.
it. Well, so right there, you'd still technically be in the bite, but if you right, that's probably the safer spot. You also see these little worm creatures moving around.
See. Oh boy. Yeah, and that's yeah, he's there. Does it looks like there's like another gap here. Can't
Right.
tell.
Well, you can, in fact, from where you are now, you should be able to see a light.
Yeah, through the worms.
Right.
But does it look like this is a gap?
No, that's also in the mist.
Hmm. Well, this looks a little farther than
Randus is also going to dash across.
Uh, he's not gonna dash, but Taash'vannon will do her best to because she sees this as her duty.
You have 2 levels of exhaustion now?
I do.
what's your movement normally?
40.
Okay.
So we see these worm things.
Yes.
Are they just popping out of the ground like diglets?
Yes. Essentially like Diglets.
Uh, as Taash'vannon pulls up in the back, uh, she says, "How can I help?"
As Taash'vannon moves through the mist, you can see the worms seem to start moving in this direction, in Taash'vannon's direction.
Get out of the mist.
If they're moving in my direction, Taash'vannon is going to take that as a signal that she is able to be at least a distraction to help everybody else do what they need to do. So she'll start moving towards the entrance, but slowly, as if she is be bait.
So everyone roll me initiative just to see when different people are moving.
All right, I got a 15.
I'm right here, baby. I'm right here. It's okay.
Did Alvin roll?
Right, now, hold on. Um, well, he will start by hmm. Well, he will start by doing a Eldritch Blast, I suppose.
Okay. Which one are you targeting?
I'm gonna target this one here.
That's a hit. Seems to have survived, though.
The love tap. And it can't
Anything?
take actions. Uh, that should be it.
Tash.
Uh,
Is it Taosh or Tosh?
Teash. The way that I imagine the goblin language is it's somewhat like Japanese where all of the letters are pronounced.
Hmm.
Um, so that's it's Teash. Um, but these worm things are moving in.
Yes, they appear to be moving towards you or your general position.
Okay. As they are moving, do they seem fast?
Not especially fast.
Okay.
Definitely slower than you.
Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna bust out my Whomper. So my collar uncoils into uh, a device that seems to look like kind of like a shoulder-mounted cannon. Uh, and then she begins shooting at these things. So she's gonna move here and then shoot this guy right there.
That kills that one.
Cool. Oh, I hit action
Anything?
points. I had them listed at 0. Um, and then so there's a whomp as it shoots a bullet at that creature. Um, and what am I gonna do? You know what? I'm gonna use an action point to take another action. Uh, and dodge.
Okay. So they're going to start moving. Oop, oh, lower. Can't really go anywhere from there. So three of them are going to attack Mop because she's nearby. It's a 15 hit.
Oh, she's with Maddox right now.
Okay. Let me change this. Don't auto roll damage. I don't know why that's the default.
Um,
Let's see.
could I, you know what? So now realizing that Lisa put Mbop there, uh, could I keep Taash'vannon close to her to
Y
take some of the potential attacks?
yeah, you could.
Okay. Because Tayash wouldn't have just left Mbop there.
Okay, so that one attacked you, but it rolled a 15, which would miss you.
Okay.
This next one will also attack you. That one does hit for one piercing damage.
It does not. I'm dodging.
Oh, okay, you're right. So it misses. And then the third one will attack him, Bop, but miss. That's all they can do this round, but I have to roll to see if more turn up. And you see in the far end of the room more turn up. Randus is going to fire his crossbow at this one because he's closest. But he misses. Technically, Mbop's turn, but we'll come back to her. Cleek Cleep.
So I'm sorry. Is it Lee Aarakocra or is it Cleep Cleep?
You would know. You would know him as Lee Erico.
Okay.
Uh, gonna move up to this one and attack you.
That hits and kills it because it was already injured. So are you going to move?
Move up and use my shield attack within the
That
9.
that misses.
All right.
Elzen.
So I'd like to use an action point to get a spell slot back.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna move 10 feet to this spot here. And I'm gonna cast or he conjures this uh wow, it didn't do the spell description. So he conjures Tasha's caustic brew in a 30-foot line. Um,
Right.
so I'm thinking like basically, oh, that's not what I wanted. Uh, thinking of like here, it's like a 5 foot line. So basically just trying to capture like these four.
So I would say yes. What was that? Yeah, this is 5 foot wide. So yeah, you can get those four.
Oh yeah, what was the,
This is the effects thing. I
oh
don't
yeah.
know. So I just did a little 5 foot wide acid beam. You
Uh,
just used the breath version as opposed to the beam version.
gotcha. Cool. I forgot about that. So yes, that is, so they have to make a deck saving throw. And if not, they'll take,
Let's see.
3 damage at the start of each of their turns.
That's the one that I currently have highlighted. One next to him fails. 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 So one of them made it. It turns out they're resistant to acid.
Well, tried. And he's gonna use his movement to get back out, back into the gap.
Taking a little damage off them. Okay. Anything else you're doing?
No, I think that's it.
So Teosh, they are four of them are slightly injured, at least of the ones that are very close to you.
Okay. So I'm gonna attack this one.
Okay, that's the uninjured one.
Uh, yeah, that's fine. So,
That's a miss.
okay. And then, huh. I'm gonna use an action point to take another attack to try and keep these things off of Mbop and Lee Irakokra.
That's a hit. Which one
All
were you
right.
attacking?
The
This
one in
one?
front of Mbop and Lee.
Okay.
And
That
then,
kills that one.
okay. Um, that's my turn.
Uh, this one's gonna slither over the corpse of its dead companion. Which one will it attack? Going to attack Bop, but miss. And these two that are adjacent to Teosh will attack Teosh.
All right. So,
So that does 7 damage, and it latches onto your flesh, and it's starting to burrow in. but slowly.
Okay.
This one's going to move down to also attach.
Do enemies roll on the critical confirm?
You're right. They should. Let's see if it hits. It does. Uh-oh. So you take triple max damage, which in this case is 12,
So I'm out again.
and you suffer a lingering injury. So you have this wound that will fester and get worse unless you can get it treated. Luckily, you're in a pretty major city, so that's not super hard.
Okay.
But and then this other one, well, probably not going to. Yeah, it could still burrow into you and lay an egg.
Yeah.
So technically, this is also a crit.
So 2 death fails.
Yes. And it's burrowing into you a bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then these three in the back start to move forward, but they can't quite reach anybody. Randus is, just going to take a shot and fire the crossbow at the one that's going to burrow into your body in a round. He hits it. It's not dead, though. Bob is not back yet. So, Lee Aarakocra.
All right, so there's one in front of me. Gosh, I will attack. Is it still up?
Uh, yes, this one is still up, barely.
Oh, God.
So, so roll to confirm.
How
Their
many
crit
action
fail.
points do we have?
2. So you can use an action point to reroll.
That's what I'm going to do.
That's
Much
it.
better.
That kills it.
Was that the one burrowing into?
No,
That's the
that's
one in
just the
front of
one.
us. I was trying to make my way up there. I am going to.
This is the one that's going to disappear inside Taash'vannon around.
Okay.
I'm going to move to the side just so he at least has line of sight and I'm not in the way.
And it's Elzen's turn.
Elzen's going to take a step this way. I can't tell if this is in the bite or not.
Yeah, it's just barely in the bite.
He's gonna take a step and then do an Eldritch Blast to the one that's gonna go into Taosh. He does have the spell sniper feat, so
Okay.
it has some. Oh, nice.
Yep, that kills it. So it is no longer burrowing into him. This one, however, still is. It's just doing it more slowly.
Uh,
Tash, and I
I'm gonna
sorry.
use an action point, my second action point to Eldritch Blast, the one that's slowly burrowing into him.
Okay. That kills that one. But only because you damaged it with your acid.
Point well spent.
Anything else you're doing?
No, that'll be it.
So Tash, I need another death save.
Before that, can Lisa maybe take
Oh, that's
a
true.
turn?
Lisa, you missed two turns where these
I was
things
gonna say, am I
attacked.
still alive?
Yes, they tried to attack you, but they kept missing. And Taosh took a lot of the focus off of you by standing next to you. He, however, got hit a couple of times and is down. Two of them were burrowing into his flesh, although those two are now dead. There are still four of them active, five of them active that you can see moving around the room. One of them's in a position to attack him again.
Okay. Can I go with? Well, I already used two spell slots.
You can, so you have two action points, and you could spend one of them to get a spell slot back.
Okay, can I do that?
Yes.
And can I command all of them or can I just command one?
You can only command one,
Okay.
but you could use sleep again and hit them
Okay.
all pretty easily.
Okay, you know what? You're right. I will use sleep. Do you need me to post it again?
No, just roll the 5d8.
D8.
18, so that's that one. So you only put two of them to sleep this time,
Okay.
but they're the two closest ones.
I was gonna say the two closest. Okay, cool.
All right, and now we skipped you twice, so technically you can go again.
Um, okay, let me see what else I can do now that they're sleeping.
And there are the three that are awake and moving
Oh,
towards
they
you.
are, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use, can I spend another
You can.
action and do a command? Okay, and then I'm gonna command this guy to spin around in a circle continuously.
So it starts spinning.
Cool. All right then. So then I'm
Now,
done with my spell slots, right? Because I don't have any more action points to swap.
now you have another. Well, that's right. You had to spend both of them. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm. Okay. I just want to make sure I have that right. Cool.
So now, Taosh, I need you to make me a death save.
You're muted.
So, important question. That third level of exhaustion, does it hit when you get to 0 or when you go back up?
When you go back up.
Okay, so I only have 2 levels of exhaustion right now, so I don't have disadvantage on the saving throw. But I'm anticipating I'm still gonna fail because it would make sense after all that I've done to Tony's character.
But Tony's not here to witness it. That's not fair.
But that's also, just desserts in and of itself. Yeah, he doesn't get to experience it. All right, here we go. Oh, okay.
A success. One success and two fails.
Yep.
These two tadpoles are asleep. One is spinning around. Uh,
Oh, Mike, I wish I had used heroism on you.
That's okay. Maybe
this
next time.
tadpole is going to try to bite Mbop,
Or maybe next character.
but miss. Spinning around one will spin around. And then the other one's moving up to attack Lee. I assume a 17 hits.
Yeah.
So you take two piercing, and it starts to slowly burrow into your skin, and will be inside your body in 4 rounds. Randus, I guess, will shoot the one that's spinning since there's less chance he accidentally hits somebody else. Oh, that's the wrong sheet. Hits it. He doesn't quite kill it.
Nice.
And it's Mbop's turn again.
Okay. And two are sleeping and one is spinning, right?
Right. It will stop spinning at the end of your
Well,
turn.
The end
these
of my
two are
turn.
still alive.
Right.
They're over the corpses of other ones, which is why there's still X's there. This one is burrowing into Lee.
Technically,
Would
this one is.
minor illusion affect them if they're sleeping?
If they're sleeping, no.
No, right? Okay. Just
Right.
want to make sure. Um, can I use minor illusion on the one that's spinning?
You can.
There's one right in front of you though that just attacked you.
Yeah, this guy.
I thought that one's sleeping. Is that not
No,
sleep? Is that one
no,
not sleeping?
This one,
these things.
the ones with the Z's signs on them.
Sultan.
Okay, I'll do the one that's closer.
Okay. What illusion are you creating?
Fire. That there's just a ring of fire around them.
Down, down, down. Burning ring of fire.
Okay. It's in the center of a ring of fire. Not exactly clear yet what it's going to do about that,
Okay,
but it appears to be trapped in this ring of fire.
cool.
Lee, you have this worm-like creature burrowing into your skin,
I will attack it.
possibly in revenge for all the worms you've eaten.
Uh,
That hits. It's not dead though.
and I'll bash myself with my shield.
That hits and kills it. So it drops out of you, leaving a wound where it was digging into your flesh. Elzen.
Elzen's going to attack the one that's by Umbop. With an Eldritch Blast.
That hits.
For a paltry 2 damage.
Tayash, I need another death save.
All right, here's the one where I die. Yep. Taash'vannon passes into the next life.
Already?
Yep.
At least you made it to session 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a check for this, the tadpole that's in the ring of fire, to see if it's just going to stay there or not. It's not very smart. Yeah, it's going to stay in the ring of fire. The one that's spinning, however, he gets free of the command this round, so he's not spinning anymore. So he is going to move up. Move these guys. And he's going to attack Lee. So you take 3 more piercing damage, and he is also slowly, as slowly as he possibly could, burrowing into your flesh. Randus will fire a crossbow at the one. He's not confident he's not going to hit Lee with his bolt, so he's going to fire at the one that's in the illusory flames, but he misses. But there's one now. There's only 2 that are threatening you. One is burrowing into Mbop, and so, or is burrowing into Lee. I mean, so he can't. That one can't attack anymore. But in 4 rounds, it's going to disappear into Lee's body. Then there's the one in the ring of fire.
Okay. I can't really do anything physical.
You can
Can I use
Vicious
vicious mockery on the one that's burrowing into Lee?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Hello? Oh,
All right. What do you need me to do? You want me to post it?
Uh, yeah, click on vicious mockery. So roll me a d6 because it's almost certainly going to fail as save. Oh, it actually made it save. So
You still need me to roll it?
no, you mock it viciously, but it doesn't seem to care. It's a very confident little worm.
Okay. All right.
Lee,
So I gotta fight, attack another one of these little bastards.
that kills it. It has only 3 hit points left. So with that, the one that's in the fire doesn't know how to get out of it. So it's only a matter of time before you kill that one. And you really can't avoid critting these 2. They're not smart enough to try to wake one another up. So we'll just call it. You managed to kill the rest of them.
Okay.
So you still know it's only a matter of time before more things start to appear in the mist, but you have, at least several minutes before that's likely to happen. But Taosh has fallen.
Intern. Intern.
Yeah.
Can you grab Tash?
I don't know that I can lift Taosh.
Does he have a leash? Can we drag him out?
He seemed anti-leash.
Well,
You're
not a
all
lot he can do about it
misgendering her,
now.
by the way.
I mean, I think if we all pulled, we might be able to at least get him out of the mist.
I I do not I do not think I will be much help here.
I think every little bit helps in moving something that weighs like 400 pounds.
He looks down at his little arms.
And if
Well,
more of these things pop up, I mean, they're the same red color as the big lizard creature that exploded from the body above. So imagine how big it would be coming out of the warg.
we best start.
So the intern and all of you do slowly drag the body out towards the main entrance and get it out of the mist. And then the intern starts walking for the other side of the room where the light was.
Elzin's gonna hold his breath and follow after him.
So you do see there's an ever burning torch on the wall here.
How uh how affixed is it to the wall?
I mean, it's just in a sconce.
Yep. Yeah, I shall take it.
Uh, the intern starts to back up. There are statues in the room. They look like monsters. I'm sure they're going to come to life. I'm not the sort of person who survives this kind of thing.
Elzin takes a look. Uh, can he?
Made it this far.
Does he see that? Does I guess he wants to see if there's any truth to that.
So you can see in this room, you do see two chests, one of which is kind of at the limit of what you can see, but this is a chest, and you see a large chest here. All of the chests look to be relatively new, almost, I would say. They don't look like they've been here very long. But you also see these hard to say frog-like statues here.
Do these look like the creatures that came out of the person on the surface?
Sort of, but these are more like frogs. That was more like a lizard. But I feel certain that as soon as we go into the room, they will stop being stone and attack us.
You want to wager on that?
I mean, not with my life.
Hmm.
There's some goblins when you need them.
So, as near as you can tell, though, the statues are absolutely not moving in any way, shape, or form.
Well, we are down. We are down a strong fighter, which would be very helpful. We may need to regroup.
There's no obvious books in the room.
There's chests.
How far is it? Just a wooden chest?
So you see two chests, one of which is quite large, like more than 10 feet across. The other one is about 5 feet across.
Not getting them. How far away are they?
They're on the other side of the statues, and they're about what's that total? Like 35 and 45 feet.
So the close. I'm just only well, I really can't see too well. So is the smaller one the closest or the bigger one? I can't tell.
The smaller one is the closer one. It's about 35 feet away. Well, 35 feet away from Elzen.
Okay. I'm not far.
Can I
But
cast minor illusion and like shield us in some way? I
I
mean,
mean,
not to say that we won't trip anything to cause them to awaken, but
right. So you definitely can cast minor illusion to create some sort of static cover, like say a barrel. It does have to be like no more than like you could make like a 5 foot cube of something, which is
mhm.
probably taller than Elzen, and other people could duck down behind it.
What do you guys think? Should we do that or should we just kind of play it safer?
is that a cantrip, minor illusion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You should make something some sort of illusion, have them go by the statues and see if it triggers them.
Okay. Can I cast like an illusion of like a group of people just kind of walking through the room to the chests?
So the illusion, from minor illusion in particular, can't move. It's just a static. It's usually just a static
Oh,
image.
it just stays.
Right. Right. So I mean, I would allow like fire. So, but you could do like
Okay.
somebody who's short, like a halfling, could like do a dance. As long as it's not leaving it square, I'm happy with that.
Okay. Okay. Let's do that.
So you make a small-sized figure appear in front of the statues. They don't seem to react to it.
Okay.
See, Randus, be worried about.
Um,
Just do me a favor and make me a persuasion check, Lee.
Oh yeah, persuasion. There we go. There we go. Come on, persuasion.
Oh, he's so
Hell
eager.
yeah.
He is so eager now to go into the room.
Yes.
Uh, and he strolls right by the statues that are clearly inert and goes up to the big chest and touches it. And then the statues start moving.
Well, I mean, she didn't tell him to touch the chest. What the hell is he doing that for? Dumbass.
Uh, So the statues aren't focused on you, but anybody who wants to roll initiative can roll initiative. Randus has to roll initiative.
Yeah.
So Lee, you go first.
All right, so the statues animate. How big are they?
Two of them do. They're medium sized. They're about
Okay, they're the
six,
okay. I see the pictures now. I mean, I get okay now. I can see better. Just the whole light issue.
and they all turn to face Randus, or the
Okay,
two of them turn.
all right. They look like they're made of stone.
Yes, they still look like they're stone, but they're definitely moving now.
I'll move up to that one. Bonus action rage, and I'll attack him.
Okay.
14.
That's a miss. You claw
Ooh.
and it hits the stone, but the stone is harder than that.
All right. All righty.
Elzin.
Let's see. Elson reaches down to touch the ground and pulls out uh pulls out a large crystalline staff uh made of made of it's kind of black and purple, swirling, and you hear everyone hears these faint rumbling voices, like the sounds of distant avalanches. And he points it at uh, this 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 one and does Eldritch Blast, and he's going to use 1 damage. Well, he's going to use uh, the non-legacy primordial power to increase the damage by 2d10 for this 24 hours.
Okay.
So 13.
So it is still up, but it's severely cracked and looks like it could fall apart. Anything else you're doing?
That's all I got.
So this one is going to move up and open the thing. But it misses. The second one, it's going to turn on Lee and do the same thing.
Oh God.
So didn't roll damage. I'm going to re-roll to just to see what the damage is. Closing it. This is just for the damage. So you take 7 slashing damage,
Half
and I
because I'm
need
raging. Yeah.
right, and I need you to make me a con save.
Okay. One con save.
So you made it. You're fine, and you're immune to this target. Or no, that's a different one. You've made it though. Randus is going to take his staff and hit this thing. Except unexpectedly, Randus takes two staff attacks,
Whoa.
showing much more skill with a staff than you would have expected, and shattering this one.
Got got a ringer as an intern.
Yeah, somebody's holding out. Is that your real name?
Oh, no.
Randus?
So he moves to there, and it's Lee's turn.
All right.
Actually, Lee and Elzin, you could have seen. So make me a perception check.
Uh-oh. 16.
Lee, you noticed Randus opened that chest and took something out before running.
Okay.
But it's your
All
turn.
right. Okay. 16. I think that's a miss, isn't it?
No, that's a hit.
Okay. And if it takes psychic damage, since I'm raging, it'll take 2 psychic, so 5 total.
It does take psychic damage. Anything else you're doing?
Bonus action, and I
That
miss it
that's a
with the
miss.
shield. Boing.
Now it's Umbop's turn.
Um, don't have much I can do. Is the thing still around or did we crush it?
So one of them has been shattered. There's another statue here in the corner that it didn't start moving at all, but this one that's attacking Lee is still up and only slightly damaged.
Okay. Um, can I do minor image and like put a cage or something around it or a wall around it?
Yes, you can. I mean,
Okay.
it's a little bit taller than you can make, but you could make it like around the top of it so that its legs are sticking out.
Like a stall.
Yes, basically, like a bathroom
All
stall
right.
around the creature.
Yeah. I'll do that.
So it is currently encased in a solid box-like stall around it, unable to see Lee in front of it.
Okay.
Elzin,
All right. Well, is it an illusion?
it's an
Yeah.
illusion.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Is that the only one? There's no others.
There's another statue that's not moving, so does it not an immediate threat?
Hmm.
Though, maybe it just had a different trigger and we'll start moving some other time.
I'm gonna hold my action for until I'm gonna hold my action until for when the statue realizes that it's the box is an illusion and it breaks out.
Okay. Uh, so we'll let it investigate this box, but it is just probably going to strike blindly. That's true. It will strike blindly forward. So maybe it hits Lee. It'll basically attack Lee with disadvantage as it claws at the front of this box. So it misses Lee, and it still thinks it's stuck in a box. Randus is going to use the opportunity to run by it because it can't see him to take an attack of opportunity. And he's going to run past Mbop. Lee, technically, you could have taken an attack of opportunity if you wanted to, I guess.
Against Randus.
Right.
I don't really have Sentinel. Yeah. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
So
going
it's
to
your turn.
attack. I'm going to attack this thing.
So it has, you can't see it completely either. So you have disadvantage on your attacks against it.
Okay. Oh, shit. God damn.
So you strike at the stall, but you're not able to connect with it hard enough to break through the stone. Mbop.
Mm, I don't really have anything. It's the only thing I can really do.
Vicious mockery.
That and yeah. Okay.
So let's see. So it failed vicious mockery. So roll 1d6.
1d6. Okay. Where do I go for 1d6?
You can also click on the dice icon and then just click d6.
Oh,
The
just
first,
d6. Okay.
yeah. So it takes that damage.
Oh, wait, did you say it failed or I failed?
No, it failed.
Yeah.
It rolled a
Cool, cool,
saving
cool.
throw that was below your DC, so it took
Gotcha.
damage.
Awesome.
And technically it takes like it has disadvantage on its next attack, but it's in this stall, so it disadvantage on all attacks at the moment.
Gotcha.
So Elzin,
Elzin's going to step forward and yell to Randus, Intern, where are you going? Intern, where are you going?
he yells back, "I'm not dying down here."
We stick together. And we leave together one way or another. I will not tolerate deserters.
He still looks like he's running.
Kill him. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna use this this I can't tell. This passage is only 5 feet wide, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna use uh Eberron's claw uh to not attack, but raise to raise a 5 foot rock um pyre to block the path. And I'm going to like have it positioned. I guess it has to emanate, it has to come from the ground.
Yeah.
So can't so yeah, it's just good. It's good. It'll provide a temporary barrier. that he will at least have to climb over.
Right. So yeah, so his next 10 feet are basically difficult terrain for him.
Yeah.
The stone statue is still thinks it's inside a box. So it is again going to lash out in the direction of Lee, but it has disadvantage. And it misses. Randus has to do 10, 20, 25, oops, 30. And then he's going to dash. So he sort of disappears around a corner. Lee,
Um, I'm going to attack this thing. Keep attacking it. Huh.
so I forgot. Roll to confirm the crit fail. So that's a failure. Roll D100. 52. You take a level of exhaustion. And your second attack?
I don't know. It's maybe a bad idea. It's really okay. Thank God. It was 14.
Right, so that just misses him.
All right.
Bop.
All right, let's do vicious mockery.
Wisdom save. It failed again. So roll me your D6. So what do you imagine you say to this thing? How are you mocking it?
I say, if you are so ugly, if you had a chance to procreate, your bloodline would stop with you.
And you hear it audibly gasps, and you hear stone cracking as it begins to fall apart. Chunks of stone just fall onto the ground, and it's dead. So, I mean, we can come out of rounds. Technically, Randus is still running.
We can catch him. We can catch him if we want. But
Well, he has to go through the mist too, right?
Yeah, he's running through the
All
mist.
alone.
Right.
He'll be
He's
fine.
yeah, he's working on the theory that it usually takes a little while, a couple of minutes before things start reappearing.
Well,
he took something out of
rubber.
his chest. It's very discreet, and then he took off. I
So are
I
you going to chase him?
So do we know that he was one of the interns? Like he showed up
I
with the
mean,
group.
did you really pay attention to the faces of all of the interns? Not really.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in the right clothes and he's got basically the right gear. You would have thought that, they could cast spells. You didn't see him cast any spells, like not even a cantrip.
I think we should go at. I think we should go after him.
Wait, did we even check the chests though?
There are others,
Let's check them first.
Yeah, because we're already here.
but if we do not chase after him, he will be long gone.
He can only get so far.
Well, we're going to go into chase rules if you go after him.
Because if we go after him, we might have to end up coming back anyways.
He's clearly not. He's clearly up to no good. I can shoot pretty far if I can get line of sight.
Right. So, like I said, we're going to use chase rules to see if you can get to him. So it's not just regular combat rounds. It's a simplified version of the chase rules from the DMG, which I'll describe to you if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, we'll do it.
Okay. So uh, I know there's basically two sides. There's you and Randus who's running away. I know what the starting gap is. The chase has to last for 3d6 legs, which I will determine secretly. At the start of each leg, you basically have to choose which character will represent the group. Everybody essentially has to go. You can choose your order, however. You make an athletics check, and if you make the check, then for every 10 feet that you move, so that'd be 5 for Lee because he moves 50, and it would be 3 for Elzin and Mbop because they move 25 and 30. You will basically roll a d10 times 5 or 3, and that will determine by how much you close the gap
Okay.
between you and him. And then there may be little chase events based on whatever you actually roll on your athletics check. So, but let's take a 5 minute break. I need to run to the restroom and then I'll be back.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.